Okay. So the first one of the questions which we were discussing, which I got in the community post, is about Hermes Gasparini, and also the other question was about Michael Todd. Can these guys stop Levan Saginashvili? Now, usually I would like to just say that we can get to know the answer of this question when we see Michael versus Hermes Gasparini at East versus West 15 it is on February 15th, but only in one case we will be able to get the answer to that question, and that will be when we'll discuss that. But first let's talk about the situations when we won't get the answer to this question. So the situation when we won't get is, one of them is if Hermes Gasparini beats Michael Todd. Well, although we can actually say that even the last time Hermes was kind of ready to beat Levan, because he did beat him in a couple of rounds. The score was eventually 4-2. But many people consider that it doesn't really matter what happens after you have already won 4-0, which also makes sense if you look at it that way. Ahmed, I did watch the recent Denis Siplenkov interview, and I've already recorded one video about that, and I'll record a separate video about Denis as soon as I end this live stream, which will be in about 27 minutes from now. I'm planning on going for about 30 minutes on this live stream. So Hermes beating Michael, especially in a close match, won't really tell us if he's ready once again to beat Levan Saginashvili or not. And the reason behind that is Michael has not faced anyone who has faced Levan Saginashvili. So Michael did not recently face Devon Larratt. Michael did not recently face Hermes Gasparini. He will be facing him, but we don't have any common opponent yet. So if Michael beats Hermes, then we can say that maybe he's ready for Levan, because who else can beat Hermes? Devon and Levan. And Devon has already lost to Levan a couple of times. So if Michael beats Hermes, then for sure this is going to tell us that he is ready for Levan Saginashvili. But can he stop him or not? Being ready on paper, deserving on paper, it's a different thing. Michael will definitely deserve that match. But still, even if he's the number 2 guy in the world, that also does not mean that he can stop and beat Levan Saginashvili. I hope I'm able to make my point absolutely clear here. So, condition number 1, Hermes beats Michael. We don't really know if Hermes is ready for Michael or not, unless he completely just looks at him and destroys him single surge without even needing a press. Then Levan Saginashvili should probably be scared. But I don't see that happening. And even Denis Siplenkov said that at some point that match is going to stop for sure, and Hermes Gasparini should be prepared for that. If Michael Todd beats Hermes, then I would say for sure he's ready. And if he beats him something like 3-0, then once again Levan should be worried a little bit, depending on where Michael stops him. If Michael stops him here, but even here, stopping Gasparini's press, it's like I've not seen anyone not lose to Hermes when Hermes is on the offensive side. So stopping Hermes on his offensive side, that is also a near impossible task. And if somehow Michael is able to do that, then props to him. He definitely deserves the shot. And then in that case, yeah, he may even be like really ready for Levan, not just ready on paper. Your honest opinion about Prime Denis Siplenkov versus Prime Devon right hand. Yeah, I would like to see that match. I just recorded a video about Denis answering this question about Levan Saginashvili. But more than Levan versus Denis, Prime Levan, Prime Denis, I would like to see this Devon versus Prime Denis. That match is something that makes me much more excited than the Levan Saginashvili match. Although for Denis, both of the matches may be equally difficult. They may be equally difficult for some specific reasons, which maybe we should not discuss here, because Devon, if he gets the stop on someone, he can be almost as dangerous as Levan Saginashvili if you don't have a good flop press. We have seen a good flop press from Denis, but only maybe on a couple of occasions, and that too was more of a shoulder roll kind of thing, and not this constant putting of pressure on your opponent with your shoulder. This is something which we have not seen from Denis Siplenkov. So that's the reason why I would say that it can be equally difficult for Denis Ciplenkov, but still I would like to see that match more. So can Hermes Gasparini stop Levan? I mean, why can't he? He should be able to stop Levan if he has already done that. But initially, I'm going to be honest with you, I was thinking if Hermes now knows how he's going to beat Levan, then for sure he's going to do it the next time. He's younger than Levan. He'll probably be bigger than what he was before, and he's going to be a lot stronger. But now thinking about it, Levan is taking this stuff even more seriously after he realized that there are people who can stop him. Hermes made him realize that. Then Levan Saginashvili realized that once again against Devon Larratt in the first round. Well, he did say that his wrist was only 75-80%. For that reason, maybe he got stopped in the first round. But he knows that it can be done under some certain circumstances. So he won't left anything to chance now. And he's also equally more prepared compared to the first match as Hermes Gasparini will be. So yeah, but still we don't have enough reason to believe that even this time Hermes couldn't get the stop. He should be able to get the stop. And now Michael Todd's back pressure is also looking insane. Hermes is one guy who I will say has even more experience than against Levan than Devon. Why? Because yes, Devon has faced him a couple of times already, but Hermes did get those genuine stops a couple of times, maybe three times. Devon got it only one time, and he was able to work through that as well. So for that reason, I'll say he knows that, and he will be assuming that he has improved at least as much as Levan Saginashvili has. So that's why I think he can get that stop. And he was saying that back pressure is the key. You cannot hook Levan, you cannot take Levan's wrist. You have to apply a lot of back pressure, and only then you're going to stop that match. In that case, Michael Todd, I think, has more back pressure than Devon Larratt. So back pressure, if it is the key, I think Michael Todd has that key. Maybe not as good as Hermes Gasparini, but he can make up for it with a stronger open arm angle. So yes, I would say, although it is not likely, but there is a possibility that both of these guys can get a stop against Levan. Hermes Gasparini's possibilities in my eyes are much higher. Michael Todd will run into problems because of his I shouldn't really say hand size. I used to say that in the past, I know, but Hermes Gasparini's hand is also not massive. I don't think so. And if you're talking about thickness of the hand, Michael Todd's hand is also pretty thick. So I'm not sure if Hermes Gasparini's hand is really bigger than Michael Todd or not. But for sure, slipping against Levan will be a slightly bigger problem for Hermes, for Michael than Hermes. Because in one round or two, Levan can hold on to Michael's thumb if he wants. But that can also be like detrimental to your own endurance, to your own gripping strength that is required during the match. Because if Levan does that for too long and he cannot get those pins by pushing somebody's thumb into the pad, then he may be risking losing the match himself. So although I used to say that Michael won't be able to slip against Levan, but after seeing this insane workout schedule from Michael, these lifts, these explosivity which he showed against Gennady Quickvinia, I take those words back. Now I no longer think that slipping against Levan at least the required number of times will be a problem for Michael Todd. So I'll say 30% chances that Hermes Gasparini stops Levan, and maybe 13% chances that Michael Todd stops Levan if that match happens. Who am I favoring to win this match? I think Hermes, he has to be the favorite. If we just look at their previous match, I know we shouldn't really look at their previous match because it was more than 6 years ago, but we cannot forget about that match. That's what I want to say. Because eventually both of them are the same guys. They have not really changed their styles. Michael is still an open arm top roller. Hermes Gasparini is still a top roller who can transition into a press. Only their strength level and their experience levels have changed, and I have no reason to believe that Michael may have improved more than Hermes. I'm not saying that Hermes has improved more than Michael for sure, but yeah, that would be the safer bet if somebody puts you on a gunpoint and asks you, tell us who has improved more. So I think that's enough for this subject. We've already been going on about it for 10 minutes. Then before we discuss East versus West 16, let's talk about the rankings, because somebody asked me about rankings. I don't like to give my own rankings because I know it is impossible to give rankings. If you try to get as close to realistic rankings as possible, still it is going to take probably a couple of hours to think that stuff. And even then, the best thing that you're going to be able to do is to piss off a lot of people. So I don't think at this point, still, I know I used to say that 1 year ago that in 1 or 2 years there will be enough data to give realistic rankings, but still I would say by the end of this year we should be able to give like totally completely realistic arm wrestling rankings. So meanwhile, I'll just read out the Engin Jersey East versus West arm wrestling rankings, and we'll take a look if someone else is worthy of entering that ranking or not. So obviously, right-handed Levan Saginashwili is number one. I agree. Everybody agrees. Devon Larratt is number two. Although he lost to Gennady and he has not defeated Gennady yet, although I believe that he will beat Gennady this time around. But still, Devon is the deserving number two guy. Even if he wasn't when Gennady was out of the game for injury, because Gennady recently beat Devon. Some people can say that Gennady beat Devon. How can he be the number two guy? Then now Gennady has lost to Hermes Gasparini, who Devon Larratt has defeated. And it's a common belief that he's not stronger than what he was back then. So that easily concludes to a point that Devon is the deserving guy in every person's eyes over Gennady Quickvinia. Not saying that many people were saying Gennady is ahead of Devon. Maybe 5% were saying that when Gennady beat Devon. At that time, many more were saying that, but I'm talking about a few months after that. So even those 5% people should not have any doubt now. So number three, we have Hermes Gasparini. He has beaten Vitaly Laletin. He has beaten Gennady Quickvinia, although I'm not sure if we can call that match relevant or not, because it was Gennady's comeback match. And more importantly, that was more than 3 years ago. I think so, more than 3 years. So 2021 it was. The rank 4 is Jerry. Now that's a questionable thing. Like, even if you lose to the best guy, like there should be some points drop. Like, you lost. You can be the number 9 guy in the world and you lost to number 1 guy in the world. Don't pretend like nothing changed and you still get to keep your seat or crown if you get a crown for being the number 9, or in this case number 4 guy in the world. Like, am I making any sense? Am I making any sense? Should you drop some points or a few spots even if you lose to a guy who's ranked ahead of you? So Jerry and Michael Todd. I think it's about time we start putting Michael Todd ahead of Jerry, because who won their, again not relevant, but Michael Todd won the last match between these two, and Michael has been doing good recently. I would say I'll have Michael at 4 and then Jerry at 5. Gennady at number 6, I think fair enough, makes sense. Alex Kurdecha, I don't think he deserves the number 7 shot, although he did beat Georgi Svetkov pretty bad, although he was already pretty bad, he was injured. But yeah, he should be ahead of Georgi Svetkov. Vitaly Laletin, yeah, he's at number 9. He has not really pulled anyone except Artyom Morozov, who's at number 10. But if we talk about assumptions, I would put Vitaly Laletin ahead of Gennady Quickvinia, ahead of Alex Kurdecha, Georgi Svetkov, these guys for sure. So I'll put him in the top 5 for sure, if it was just based on assumptions. But we do not have enough data to prove that Vitaly deserves that shot, although we all believe that he deserves that position somewhere around top 5 in the world. Then at number 6, Gennady, number 7, Kurdecha, number 8, Georgi Svetkov. We have Vitaly at number 9, Artyom Morozov at number 10. If we talk about left arm rankings, everyone believes that Vitaly should be number 1, but he's number 2. Number 1 is Artyom Morozov. Morozov himself said once that he kind of got lucky that Vitaly wasn't available to compete around the time he got to hold the left arm world championship in the super heavyweight division. Then we have Kurdecha, then we have Alijan Moratov. I don't think Kurdecha can beat Alijan Moratov. I don't think Morozov can beat Alijan Muratov, although it can be a close match. Judging by the Ivan Matishenko match, first round, Morozov can make it interesting. He can make it look close, but yeah, he's not as fast as Ivan Matishenko. So maybe not. Maybe Muratov just flash pins Morozov. It's entirely possible. But under any condition, I don't see Morozov beating Alijan Muratov. So in my eyes, if I'm talking about realistic rankings, I would have Vitali number one. Then I'll have Alijan Muratov. Then who will I have? Ivan destroyed Kamil on the right arm. Can he do the same on the left too? I think it's possible, man. I think Ivan beats Kamil Jablonski. Although Kamil may beat more guys than Ivan Matishenko, but Ivan beats Kamil in my opinion. And Ivan beats Kurdecha too, I think. I think so. So I'll probably have Ivan then after Vitali. Oh no, Morozov has to be ahead of Ivan for sure. For sure. Can Kamil beat Morozov? He got one round over Morozov on the right arm, and his left is stronger than his right. So yeah, it's a close match. Morozov versus Kamil Jablonski is something that I would like to see. Anyways, getting back to the rankings. Morozov, Vitali, Kurdecha, Muratov, Ivan Matishenko at 5, Kamil Jablonski at 6, then Tobias Sporong at 7, and Georgi Zaranov at 8, Wagner Bortolato at 9, then Corey, the Gorilla West at number 10. Corey and Wagner, have these faced in one of the earlier East versus West events? If they haven't, if I'm missing something, if I'm not missing something, then I would say I don't see Wagner beating Corey's left. Can he? I don't think so. Let me read some chats. The chats automatically disappear from this when we do the live through a mobile phone. Let me try to go back. There were some questions about Denis Siplenkov. Denis, in my opinion, and I'll be talking about that in a video, it should face Sergey Kalinichenko. How do you think about that opponent? Pre-recorded? No, it's not pre-recorded. Michael Todd, 198 pounds. We'll talk about that. Orden Larratt. I think Orden has chosen a good opponent. Artem Kernenko is a good opponent. But he shouldn't say that Artem is going to weigh 225 pounds. Honest, Prime, Dennis, Devon, Hermes has wrist, he wins. I agree. What's the difference between V and W? It's clear to all Indian, but V and W are separate pronunciations, but when they are accompanied in a word before they start a word, it kind of, don't forget to like this, it kind of becomes same for Indians. And there's no point in having separate pronunciations for V and W, man. They basically sound the same, so why just not get rid of one? If MMT flash press Hermes one round, I don't think it's possible to beat Hermes with a flop press. I don't think it's possible. Is Vitali natural? I don't think so. Bro, what's the title? What happened with the title? Did I mess something up? Who's strong flop press, Jerry or Gennady? Jerry has to be better. Jerry has to be better. Slightly, but not too much. Jerry can stay there for a very long time. But peak force, I think Gennady can be close to Jerry. 300 pounds you versus 150 pounds Levan. I think 150 pounds Levan will win. Yeah, that joint conditioning and stuff. That would be the realistic answer. What kind of 300 pounds me? Like if I'm 300 pounds at like 20% body fat, then I'll probably win. But I'm 185 pounds at 20+% body fat. So that's the problem. Levan's thumb weighs 150. Bangalore top rollers. Hi, can I become arm wrestling champion? I'm currently 5'9", 55 kg. No, you cannot. Recently, Engin make a podcast with Denis Siplenkov. Yeah, I've already recorded one video about it, and I'll be recording another soon. Mic glitching. I probably shouldn't have connected my microphone to it, but now I guess the audio will be perfect. If it is coming through this microphone at all. What about Prudnik? I will be doing a separate live stream or maybe a separate video about Evgeny Prudnik. Morozov versus Vitali, too boring. What about Pradeep versus Levan. Yeah, that's an interesting match. Siddharth Satnam, Igor and Russian arm wrestling organizations. No, I do not know what happened to them. All right, so let me go back to the community post and let's see if there were some other questions or not. Then we'll discuss the East versus West matches just in brief. We'll cover them in less than 5 minutes probably. Hermes can dethrone Levan. Okay, we have already discussed that. Rankings, both arms, we have discussed that question from For the Win. And this Hermes question was from Mysterious Being 5967. Manas Oscar is asking, so tell me, what is your opinion? What is your next PR target? And what is the current weight of Devon? My next PR target. So I'll tell you, I would like to do 5 sets of 20 repetitions of bench press with about 60 kilos by the end of this year. So without much rest, maybe at most 2 minutes rest between these two, 5 sets of 20 reps, because that's where I've just started working out now. So that would be my target. But the main target, which I have posted in the community post, some of you may have not seen it, that's a one arm pull up by the end of this year. When I did it in 2018. So if here's the bar, I can barely come up like this. So my forehead will be close to the bar. For whatever reason, this motion seems impossible, like impossible. At that time, you can make me so strong that I can do that much from this range to this much range, one arm pull up, and you can tell me that, Pradeep, you're so strong that you can add a 10 kilo dumbbell in the other hand and still get up to that point. It looked like there's just no strength available. It's not like I'm struggling, I cannot go beyond this. It's like my muscles do not know how to go beyond this. So I'll be targeting this much range of motion. I'll probably post a video about that, but that's the target. Many people were making fun of me that it's not possible, you're crazy, but I think it is. It's not that difficult. I'll give myself a 60 to 70% chance of getting a one arm pull up by the end of this year, if I can make I can continue working out towards the end. And why people were saying that I cannot do that, I mentioned I can do only 3 strict pull-ups, and I tried them yesterday. Now I'm able to do 6 strict pull-ups after almost a month. Yeah, 1 month. But that is when I didn't do any pull-up specific, like I didn't really do pull-ups even once between that 1 month. Within that 1 month, I was just doing some general gym stuff, lat pull downs, maybe twice a week. So I got from 3 to 6. If I'll be doing some pull-up stuff next month, I should be able to get to 10 strict pull-ups by the end of February. And even if I don't do any pull-up stuff, still I should be able to get to at least 8 or maybe even 9 strict pull-ups by the end of next month. And as soon as I can do 20 strict, 22, 25 at most, I should be able to get that one arm. So that was my goal for this year. And what is the current weight of Devon? I would be guessing 286 pounds. That's my guess, and I think I'm pretty close, within a couple of pounds for sure. Can Michael Todd's King's move contain Levan's surge? We have already discussed that. What's the main reason for you to be huge again? I'm not huge. I'm thinking about going down from 84 to 80 kilos. Will you be 300 pounds this time? I don't know who that question was for. Maybe that he wanted to pose that question under Devon Larratt's channel and he got confused. My hook is stronger than global warming. Okay, brother. So these were the questions there, and now we are going to read some questions and finally discuss the East versus West entire cards, just to let you know what are the matches that you can be expecting. Pradeep, any podcasts, live interviews in the future? I should do them. I 100% should do them. But yeah, once you do an interview, I don't really like to do, didn't used to like to do these live podcasts with guests. Like I used to mostly prepare a lot of questions. That format was cool. Like I can still say even till this date, I probably got most of the comments saying that these are the best interviews ever which we have seen with that guy. How many interviews Devon had already done until then? And I still got many comments saying that this is probably the best interview with Devon which we have seen. So a lot of preparation goes into that. Should be asking more people. Devon did agree. Once he himself said we should be talking about these rules and stuff, you should invite other arm wrestlers too. But then I asked a couple of other arm wrestlers and they said that they couldn't do it this month, they couldn't do for next couple of months, couple of weeks. Then that idea was dropped. I should have done it with Devon alone. That would have been better for me for sure. Pradeep, you're on juice. No. Do I look like? Vitali will dominate Levan. No, I don't think anyone thinks that. Would you think Mazahir can beat David Samusia? No, Mazahir cannot beat David Samusia. Pradeep, 1 year, who will win, Devon or Reno? Devon, both arms, even on the left arm. Reno flop press. Does he have a flop press on the left, or does he just have a tricep press? If he has a flop press, he can make it cool on the left arm. He can probably get Devon. Concrete elbow makes a lot of fake videos. I don't know what you mean by fake videos. You mean clickbait thumbnails? Of course he will lose. And do you think Mazahir can beat David Samusia? See, I got 40 rupees benefit of reading your comment late. No, brother, no, he cannot beat. But thanks for the super chat. Anyways, for sure, zero chance Mazahir beats Samusia. Maybe like on a very good day, he can surprise him with his speed without the straps. First round, maybe Mazahir can. I wouldn't like bet my life against that. Maybe one round, very surprise Samusia outside of straps. Mazahir does something against him. But no, nothing will happen after that. Pull-ups are very hard. What's your height and weight? Height, I would say almost 5'11". Weight, I would say almost 84. What's that in pounds? I don't know. Maybe 185, 184, close to that. Somewhere in the 180 range. Hutchings or Irakli? Suryavi, thanks again. What about Dennis versus Dave? Yeah, that was the match that was supposed to happen initially, but now Dennis is not talking about it openly. Maybe they'll still get to that match, but we are not sure yet. So now we should be talking about East versus West matches as per the schedule, as we just discussed. For that, we can go to East versus West website as well, but I like to go to Gold's Arm website to check all of the matches that are going to happen soon. What's your position now on shoulder below the table, defensive, offensive? I think the rules are okay as they are right now. I saw some people trolling by saying that Pradeep doesn't know the difference between shoulder below the table in the losing position and the winning position. Obviously, I know why these rules exist. But even if the guys who are saying that I don't know the difference, then I clearly asked the difference. Like, tell me what's the difference. Instead of saying that you don't know the difference, well, I clearly showed you I don't know the difference by asking that question. Why don't you answer that question if you know the difference? But the thing is that I know the difference, but they don't. And I'm not even afraid to say that I said something which was not like within the understandable range of, I would say, 70% people or 60% people. Any 300-pound version of you, no, you'll probably see a lighter 170-pound, 75-pound version of me in the future. 450 pounds. So East versus West 16 guys, main event, Devon versus Gennady. So the biggest question here is, like I just started thinking about it, how should Devon versus Gennady be the main event? Like, has Devon gotten the birthright to be the main event of every single card? Like, we have a super heavyweight title match between Vitali and Morozov. In my opinion, that should have been the main event of the night. And I think I heard Coach Ray talk about it with Neil Pickup, and I kind of liked the idea. I've never been in support of 4-round victories to determine the winner of a match, best of 7 for East versus West, you can say. But Coach Ray was saying that if it is a main event, it should be best of 7. And I kind of like that idea. If Devon versus Gennady is the main event here, then how about making it a best of 7 instead of a best of 5? So we have Frank Lamparelli versus Sergey Kalinichenko. This is going to be a 115 kg match. Alex Kordecha versus David Tadikian. This is going to be a super heavyweight left arm match. Best of 5 once again. Then we have a right arm super match. 105 kg Stoyan Golemano versus Vasily Dauthashvili. So Bulgaria versus Georgia, making a comeback after some time. We saw Stoyan compete against who it was. Did they feed Brandon Del Cesar to Stoyan Golemanov, or was that? Am I mistaking something? Am I forgetting something? Vitali versus Alijan. I think Vitali wins that match. Prime Dennis versus Prime Levan. I think Prime Levan wins that match. Dennis did say today that if he could get back to his prime form again, he would be a fool not to go straight for Levan. So yeah, Dennis believes he can do something there, but not. I cannot say not many people believe that, because many people do think that. So yeah, I would still go with Prime Levan. Bacho versus Brad Grundy, 105 kg super match, and that is on the right arm, obviously. Prokopchuk Daniel versus Oleg Zok, that is a left arm world title match, 85 kilos. Oleg Zok will be defending his title against the lighter weight category guy. He tried to go for the heavier weight category championship, but he couldn't get it. Now he has to defend his own against the lighter weight guy. So basically, he's on the different side this time. Petrenko versus Betkileoniani. This time, Petrenko is going down in weight, and I think he's the favorite to defeat the Bulgarian. Marlon Kleinsmith, Fia Rysek, a rematch, middleweight super match. I think it should be a world title match, is it? Doesn't mention here. Best of 5. No, it isn't. Brad will stop Bacho. Man, that can be cool. Bacho is not ready for Bacho. Okay, Brad is not ready. World title match, 95 kilos, Todd Hutchings versus Irakli Zirakashvili. This one is going to be exciting. Irakli is sure a lot stronger now. A lot stronger. Maybe it's safe to say that he may have improved more than Todd Hutchings, even though Todd Hutchings keeps on improving every single year. Then we have Vitali versus Morozov, left arm world title super match. Michael Todd versus Gasparini. I'll say even this match is more important than Devon versus Gennady match. So if I were to decide the main event, in my eyes, Vitali versus Morozov is main event. The second last match is Michael versus Gasparini. And before that, we have Devon Larratt versus Gennady Quickvinia rematch, which is going to be the main event on this card. So these are the matches that we are expecting to see at East versus West. I hope these are going to be amazing. Todd Hutchings is definitely a beast. Raindrops on a lotus leaf. Aditya Mishra, Prime Dennis versus Devon. Now that's a cool match. That is a cool match. I would go with Devon 3-1 or 3-2 in that match. I'll pick Devon. Right-handed. And left-handed, I'm always going to pick Dennis, no matter what Devon says, how strong his left arm has gotten. I don't believe that. I saw that match, it was not close. Devon himself said Dennis was like 30% stronger than him. I don't think Devon has gotten 30% stronger since then. Yes, Hermes versus MMT, Rain Blue, for sure that match is more important. So the plan was for 30 minutes, it's already been 35. I was looking at my screen to see whether I'm live or not for the first 30 seconds or so. So that was a little bit wastage of time we can call it. And the video quality I don't think is good through this front camera of my mobile phone. So I should stick to laptop, because the stream also, I had to cancel it a few times. Thank you guys, and I'll see you again.